The light I'll be showing in this demo is the new Rotolight Titan X2, an LED soft light similar in size and used for similar applications as the Airy SkyPanel S60. The Titan X2 is a versatile and powerful light, so the way I wanted to try it out is to shoot a small project using only the Titan X2 as my movie light source. Still using practical sources as natural light, I wanted to see how creative I could get with just one cinematic unit. Also, still being in the coronavirus lockdown, I was limited in what I could do, so it was a fun test to see what we could achieve with limited resources. Luckily, our business partners and neighbors, aka our QuaranTeam, were willing to participate in my demo, and one being an actor is pretty handy. The first setup, I wanted to see if I could accentuate the already natural sunlight that was coming through the front windows. Starting with the light off, you can see that the natural sunlight is hitting parts of the frame, like Kelly's knees. Then I dimmed up on the X2 to add to the sunlight that was already there. What impressed me here is that the light is powerful enough to feel like natural sun coming through the window, and it's matching the intensity of the real sun that is hitting other parts of the frame. On the Titan X2, you can dial in virtually any color you want, including over 1,000 preset color filters from Lee and Roscoe. One of the most fascinating aspects of this light is the Smart Soft function of the light. The Smart Soft allows you to electronically adjust the light's diffusion. When working with limited resources, having this functionality is incredibly useful, so you aren't clipping diffusion or setting frames in front of the light. When working wirelessly, in this case, I'm using the Lumen Radio Moonlight Wireless DMX controller for my receiver, along with the Luminaire app on my iPad. I can dial in the level of diffusion while still watching the light on the actor on set. Please note, future updates to the Titan X2 will include wireless receiving and transmission from the light itself. No DMX wireless controller will be needed. The next aspect I wanted to play with were some of the special effects the Titan X2 is built in. You can check their specs online to see the variety of effects they have, like TV light, fire, strobe, lightning, and more. Here I used the TV lighting effect with some extreme color temperatures. I wanted to play with a little bit of a stylized combo using a very blue TV light in contrast to the very warm practical sconce lighting. This is where I dialed in the Rotolight to only give me colors in Rec 709 versus their full gamut function, since I knew my camera may not interpret some of the blues quite right. This is a handy tool so that you can ensure that you aren't using colors that may not read correctly on your sensor. This next setup was really cool to me. Using the police light function, I was able to not only dim down the intensity as Kelly walked closer to the light, but also dial in more diffusion. This is a light effect that I've never been able to do before, but is now possible on the Titan X2. One of the big things needed in indie filmmaking or with smaller productions is the ability to run a light off a battery. Since the X2 at full power only draws about 420 watts, we used a 400 watt capacity battery that my husband and I use for camping. We did have to go to house power when running the light at 100% because we were a little bit over that 400 watt capacity. But if you have a bigger battery, that would cover the X2 at full power, no problem. Here you'll see I was able to mimic the street light as a rim light with just the X2 and only at about 30% intensity. And with so many cameras having low light capabilities, it does make it easier to balance the light ratios to pre-existing practical lighting. Having programmability using the wireless control was really fun. In our little story, I wanted something supernatural to happen. So using the programs on the Luminaire, I first was able to set a scene with the light off, and then to the strobe effect, and then last, a blast of light. With the camera at 4000 ASA, the X2 at 100% and about 7 feet from the window, it gave a great close encounters feel here. Having the chance to play with the Rotolight Titan X2 was really a treat. If you are having to choose an all-around light, the X2 is a great option. It is definitely a unit I'd want in my toolkit.